It's my pleasure to introduce Jialin Long, who is a really fantastic photographic artist. And we're going to have a quick chat about her work. And uh, I should introduce myself too. My name is Tanya Kiang, and I'm the director at the Gallery of Photography of Ireland. So Jialin, we're about to celebrate the Chinese New Year, the new lunar year, and just want to wish you Gong Xu Fa Cai and all of that.
Thank you.
But for the moment, let's just go back a little bit. You're a Beijing Ren. You were born in Beijing in 1983, although you look much younger. Can you describe your childhood and what kind of a girl you were?
Yeah, I was I think I was a mommy, like quite a quiet girl, and listen to what my mom said, and like everything parents say. I have one question. I keep looking at you because you're at the corner here. Is that look good?
No, it's fine. It's
okay.
Fine. I think from my point of view, it's fine. I think sometimes if people stare into the camera, it's kind of weird.
Okay, yeah. I was a really quiet girl, and I really listened to what mommy and daddy says. So I think that's a typical Asian child. They really in Asian culture, people don't really show their own personality, and more like listen to the elder people. Say the wisdom is from the elder generations.
A very respectful girl, right? Very good. My father, that was one of my father's mantras, that we had to show respect. So the photograph you're sharing here now is beautiful. Little shot of you as a baby, and I understand this is a particular tradition among a photographic tradition in Chinese culture. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a photo called 100. So people in China, when the baby turns to 100 days old, people celebrate that day. This is a photo took when I was 100 days old, and everybody do this. They bring their baby to a photo studio and took this type of picture. Even now, people still doing the same type, like identical black and white, and with this little curve thing. It's
right.
I think many people from my generation, and even now people have that.
Yes, certainly it reminds me of some of the pictures, you know, from in an Irish context from the 20s or 30s as well. Very beautiful thing. You were always a kind of artistic child, is that right?
Yes, I was. Yeah. But my
show us some of yeah. Show us more of the pictures.
Yeah, well, that's just me and my daddy. And
in Beijing, in Beihai Park, we're thinking, yes.
Yeah, and this is the one me and my cousin we took this is Tiananmen Square. This is also identical because I was born in Beijing, and people are quite proud of the capital. So everyone not from Beijing, they will visit Beijing and visit Tiananmen Square. They will take a picture in front of at this place in front of China Mall. So this is also quite a Chinese culture thing.
Of course, yes. No, I mean not only Chinese people, but all the foreigners come to there as well. I presume then you were an only child. You were one child policy family. Yeah. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Yeah. So were you very close then to your cousin?
Yes, we were. We are like sisters. So she's my auntie's daughter, but my auntie and my uncle they work in the foreign affairs, Chinese foreign affairs. So their job have to be like moving between country and country, and they left my little cousin when she's about this age. I think she's around 2, or maybe younger than 2, and they were working in the embassy in Britain. So my mother brought up us together, so we were really close. We are really close.
I see. All right, and you're still in touch?
Yes, yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah, great, great, great. So I'm just wondering then how with actually I didn't realize that you have a connection with sort of, you know, foreign affairs and all of that. Did was it expected when you were growing up and you know you were doing all these kind of Chinese things like learning the piano and doing calligraphy? Maybe just show
Yeah.
those pictures. Um, did was it always expected that you might go abroad to study?
Um, the going abroad become a very popular topic in China, I think from around 1990s. Um, it's a popular culture start from then. So many people, if they have the opportunity, they try to going abroad. And my family background, it's like the social status in China classified in a different way. But my family is like they call intellectual family. So my parents, both of my parents, they have college degrees. And even my grandparents, they graduated from quite a famous university in China. So I think that's something in probably in the family region. There are some
Okay.
seeds
And
in there.
were they in the sciences or in the arts?
More in science, yeah. I say my
Hmm.
mother, because my mother does talk about she likes literature, but then she studied the engineering. And also my past, like I had engineering past, and then I said no, I had enough. That's that term. But the reason I studied engineering is not I chose to study it, is my mother thought that's good for me. It's
Right.
something in there in her. I don't know. I actually didn't think about that. But the family tradition is from science background, and there's a saying
Right.
in Chinese. They say if you know science, you can go anywhere in the world. But if you do say arts,
Okay.
yeah, probably you have limited opportunities.
Right. Right. So and then when you came to Ireland, how did you what at what point in your life did you come to Ireland and why did you choose Ireland of all places?
I came to Ireland because I worked. I just graduated, had my undergraduate. I finished my undergraduate in China. Then I worked in a English school. So I had a few colleagues, and they are Irish. So they talk about the culture and they talk about the St. Patrick's Day, and we had a big event. And I just heard this amazing story of like people all dressed in green, yeah, celebrate, have this parade. And one of the man was he's American Irish, and he talked about in Chicago they dyed the river in green. We were like shocked, like it's never like we never heard of this before, and that's
I
I think
see.
it's started my interest to this country, and it's just happened like naturally. I took an English exam because my friend wanted me to take the exam with them, and that is the entry exam for college. So at the time I was looking at applying, I think it's Irish, just a few Irish college name pop up, and I still can meet the deadline. So it's happened really natural.
Okay, I see. And so then you can study more engineering.
Yes, I did a master in electronic engineering in Ireland. That's what first when I
I
came.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought now maybe we should turn to one of your moving image works. It's a short film called Yuri, and I know it's on your website that people can look at it. Um, I think this elements of this film are have a there is an autobiographical aspect to the story of this film. Could you describe a little bit about what the story of this film is?
Oh, this film is talk about at first it's like a collaboration between me and my friend, and she's the main character. Her name is Yuri. She's from Japan, by the way. But when we discussed, can I just tell how we met and the background, the why I
Of
come
course,
to this?
yes.
Yeah, it's we actually we met we met at a show in 2018. You know, the Last Moment exhibition in Gallery of Photography.
Right, where good stories begin. Yes, great.
Yeah, and there was an afternoon talk about like there were, I remember 4 different people from different areas talk about the culture and identity. And at the time I was in college, I also studied identity. And this the author of Yu, the Lost Country, her name is Dragna Jurisic. Did I say it right?
Dragana Jurisic, yeah.
I think when she talked about how she believe, how she see her identity, and me and Yuri, we 2 of us had something in common, and we are really in strong disagreement with her idea, her opinion. And then we just come out to talk about our own experience when we came to Ireland, and the cultural difference we encountered, also how people see you. Because you look different, you look Asian, and you always see like people always see you different. Even probably inside you're sharing a lot of things in common, because when we came here, we settled before we came here very young. We settled here. Then you spend many years here, so a lot of things actually your mind is changing, and it's more adapt to the life in here. But then people still see you as a different, like you are Chinese or you're from China, so you are different than us. That's what we thought. And this short film is it's a collaboration between our own experience.
I very much enjoyed there's a section of the film where the central character Yuri is trying to get attention and to buy a cup of coffee, and these big men just keep on coming by, and it's very much like what every Irish woman, I think, has experienced when particularly at a bar when trying to buy some drinks.
Yes.
So but I did wonder the extent to which what you're talking about is a general sexism, or what you're saying now is that it's also it's that and more because of the way you look.
I think it's both. When I made this short film, I also had another work, still work. It's called Smurfs Believe in Equalities. And that is based on my own experience. Because I was working, after I graduated from college in Ireland, I started work in an Irish firm, and work on different projects. It's construction projects, and mainly they're in Europe. I find because I'm Asian and I'm a woman, and both things become the barrier in my career. I can't do what I want to do. So
right,
yes.
Yeah, I think the Smurfs Believe in Equality is also fantastically titled work. It's a can you describe it? It's an installation of a number of photographs, and you've also kind of done some kind of almost infographic work looking into the extent to which the board members of Fortune 50 companies in Europe are either, non-white or female. And it's a very startling graphic, beautiful piece of work. And this is, again, rather like Yuri, it comes from your own personal experiences. At what point did you then decide in your personal life, how to just to stop this engineering thing, and why did you choose to take up photography?
Because I worked 7 years in that Irish firm, and I visit like many quite big sites, like the engineering sites in Europe, some in Norway, in Scandinavia, and or in the Netherlands, the oil refineries. I really want to get on board on the real work, I mean on site, but because like I'm a woman, I'm Asian. Also, I'm good at what I was doing for the company at the time. They try to keep me in one area. I just say no. It's getting a point. I start to lose interest, and at one stage, every morning when I get up, I look in the mirror. I say, no, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my another 10 years. So I can imagine, I can actually, at the point, I can see myself doing the same thing in 10 years later, like just repeating the same thing. And I think, no, that's not what I want. I want to do something really interesting and challenging. Then I think I see there isn't a way for me keep working in the engineering in here in Ireland or in Europe, this big environment to can do what I want to do. So I just take another turn completely. I always have interest in photography, but I didn't realize how much this photography, the part in the art form, until I started to study photography. Once I started with Martin Craig in the, so he's the man, very important person to lead me into this artistic photography.
Martin Craig is a fantastic photographer as well, but he's also a really talented teacher. So yes, good on him. You then, after studying with Martin, you also then went on to the Institute of Art in Dún Laoghaire, and it was after your studies there that I know you were awarded many prizes, including the Gallery Photography Artist Award. And going forward now, you are working on a number of projects, but we'll talk about one in particular first, which is it's called Leftover Women, which is a very provocative title. Can you explain what that Leftover Women means?
It's in China, every single woman not married. The term is in general a public's idea. Say 30 is a big number. So when you turn into 30, if you are still single, you're called leftover women. But generally, if you search the definition, so 27 is if you are 27, you are not married, and you are likely to go into the leftover women category. That's
okay.
Yeah, that's the term.
Right. Could you share some of the pictures from that? This was a project that you started in June in 2019?
Yes, 2019.
Or yeah. So you were in Beijing, and how did you approach the women? How did you kind of find volunteers for this project?
Because I was born in 1983, and the one-child policy start from around 1979, so just a few years before I was born. And then since one-child policy started, many families in China, they want boy. So a lot of girls got abortion, or they just abandoned girls. And this caused 20 years later a serious gender imbalance. So then the reality is there are more men than women. So many men can't find a wife to get married. Then the government promoted this idea for recent years, it's for my generation, about this leftover women idea, to push women to get married early young, then they can compensate the gender imbalance. So a lot of my friends suffered from this. And I also received a big pressure from my family when I was turned like 26, 27. I had like my husband, he was my boyfriend, so I had a partner, I had a relationship, but then still you know, the people keep asking you, when are you going to marry? They just want you hit the number. They don't want you being left over. They don't want you turn into that category.
I mean, I understand. I mean, I think this is much more universal than perhaps you're suggesting in this work. I know we wouldn't have a word like that, but nobody wants to be an old maid, for example. Or I'm also wondering, you know, when you in this work, you also you're very kind of sympathetic to these women, and you give them some space to put forward their own thoughts and their own kind of consideration about their situation. I was very taken with one woman who says, well, you know, you're accepted if you're divorced, but if you're just not married ever, this is you are considered weird. I mean, I think this is something that also happens here in the West, but maybe not with quite so clear a point to it. When you how did these women come forward? How did you make contact with them?
So I some of the women in this project are my friends. I know that they are like my school friends from my secondary school, and we still have close relationship. Like we keep in touch. Then I just don't understand why for me they are the talented women, and why they trapped in this situation. So I want to do a story about that. And from then I just ask people around me, and soon there are a lot. There is really a big resource in China for these women. That's it's not difficult. It's actually for me quite easy to find them.
Okay. And did you feel it's the social pressure to have to be married, or is it the social pressure to have children?
I think it's both. But for leftover women, it's for marriage. So if you got married, you're not a leftover woman. But then for having children is another thing. It's maybe because the socialist culture, the people seeing these things as work in target. So when you are 20, it's funny when I have the same feeling. And when like some of the women I interviewed, they did share that. They said like when you are in college and when you're in secondary school in China, it's really strict. It's not allowed to go in to have a relationship because you should focus on your study. Then when you graduate from college, like you don't have time to have a boyfriend. You didn't have the chance. The parents didn't allow that happen. Then they want you get a man to marry straight away before you turn 25. 25 is kind of a magic number. Before 25, you can have your own freedom. But then when you turn 25, you are still not in a secure relationship. It's the voice start getting on you.
Right.
And then
right.
Yeah, and then when you get married, say when you 28, you finally get married. Okay, you hit the target for marriage. The next step is have children before 30. That's the target.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So but what about, I'm just thinking, what about just having children without getting married? Or where does that fit? Or where does it fit if you just couldn't be bothered get married because you're lesbian? What happens then?
That is a really new thing. And I think for today, when we talk 2021, China is still not acceptance for those things. So if you have child, like say if you get pregnant and the parents so the part like two parties, the parents try to make you get married because you're pregnant, because the woman is pregnant. And for lesbian, it's not something you can talk in public. It's still it's not as open as here. I know like Ireland have made really good progress on that, but in China it's not. I also heard story when I interviewed some of the women, and some of the people mentioned they know the gay couple. So the men and the women both gay, but they get married to please the parents. Then they each of them have their own partner.
I see. Okay, it's called in English called lavender marriage.
Oh, right.
Anyway, that's very interesting. I think also that this work is in some ways connected to another work that you're doing, which was it's a work that you were awarded. You were awarded a commission. And this commission is from the Creative Ireland programme and Dublin City Council Arts Office. And I know where gallery photography is also involved with this commission, the Diversity Commission. And I think this is something that, you know, you're saying that here in Ireland, we are more progressive or whatever about various aspects. But I still think we have a lot of work to do to make the diversity of our real situation here something that we can all celebrate. Do you, for the work that you're doing for this commission, can you describe a little bit about it? What do you aim to do with it?
For that commission, I'm going to challenge the stereotype of Chinese community in Ireland. I'm so sorry.
Well, here's another person who's challenging the stereotype.
Yeah.
What's your name? 你叫什么名字呢?
He can't hear.
叫什么名字?
What's your name? Just say your name.
Wei Shen.
Very good. Nice to meet you. We're looking here at one of the part of your work for the Creative Ireland and Dublin City Council Arts Office Diversity Arts Commission, and this is an ongoing project. Could you say what your aim is with it?
I want to challenging the Chinese stereotype in Ireland. So when people when people talk about when people talk about Chinese, the first impression they think you work in the takeaway or restaurant. But I want to show a diverse of like people work in different community and have different jobs.
Great. Yes. So for example, what kind of range are you interested in taking photographs of?
I think any there isn't a range. It's just a diverse. So as more say if you are work in a community worker, or if you work in the office, or if you work in the say the clinic. I mean, that's the diverse. That's like the more possibility, the more better.
Great. And so there must be a lot of people with Chinese heritage who would like to take part in your project. How could they do that if they were interested? How can they make contact with you?
Oh, they can drop me an email. It's jialin.long@gmail.com. I can put that on the screen. Yeah.
That's great. Yes, good. So thank you very much indeed. And as I say, happy Chinese New Year to you. And we look forward to seeing more of your work. You really are one of the artists to watch for the upcoming years. So thank you very much, Jialin.
Thank you. Thanks, Tanya. It's my pleasure.
Right. 我们再见吧。
再见。拜拜。